Bindusar says that the people are the priority, and that they are terrified of Gonda and the taxes, and he needs to get rid. Bindusar says that the people are the priority, and that they are terrified of Gonda and the taxes, and he needs to get rid of that fear and to make them fearless, and hence he wishes to divide the work between the three, which shall act as a test, to test their capability as a suitable choice from the throne. Shusham immediately presents his king of the state. Shall be reneged speechless, hinting at Ashoka. Ashoka taunts that it's noteworthy that those who have been overlooking these taxes are talking about equivocal confirmation of the rules. All get tensed. Ashoka says that there lies someone between them who is supporting them, helping them or aiding them, and instigating them furthermore. They are enraged. Bindusar says that if anything else, this is true, that Shusham was not able to protect the Gonda taxes, and hence this duty allocation is taken away from him. All are shocked. Shusham says that he is the eldest brother, external security and safety matters, and asks him to consider it his good luck. He then turns to Ashoka and asks him to be in charge of the investigation and abolishment of these secretive taxes, since he was the first person to have reported it, and since he started, he shall by fate end it too. He appoints him as the head of the internal security and safety. He says that since Siamak has always been associated with money and likes it, he is in charge of the taxes and revenue generation, and that any internal amendments in the contemporary tax policy shall render the indebted people some relief. He remembers Dharma's suggestion, and announces another decision of an invitation to the princesses of neighboring countries in the Shravan Mela, so that they can select the suitable wives from the same. They together protest against this decision. Bindusar says that it's good they agree on something at least, which means his decision is right. Ashoka tries to interrupt, but Bindusar says that his advice isn't solicited and it's an order. He then takes leave and disperses the meeting. Ashoka and Shusham eye each other tensedly. Ashoka walks out tensedly in the corridor, and almost ignores Acharya, who asks about his wounds. He talks about his wrestling with Shusham. He says that he had no idea Shusham was so powerful. As they start strolling together, Ashoka says that something has changed in the past 10 years, which is inexplicable, as he has matured and bettered his performance. He is told that the change in his power and mentality is due to the tantric who brought this change, and they need to eye him. Ashoka says that isn't priority. He is more concerned about Gonda's taxes. He asks about the work of the spies. Acharya tells him that in his 10 years of anonymous exile, to protect Dharma and V was a priority, so that they could return to Patliputra safely. Ashoka says that now they have returned. He says that now they need to outsmart Shusham in the Gonda matters. Ashoka tells Acharya to depute some secret spies, so that they can monitor the working strategy of the Gonda tax. Acharya notices Gonda people blackmailing people, marking a checkpost, beyond which entry is allowed only after they pay some tax. They are also threatened through knives to put us to the capacity, so that they can be safe from troubles, literally warning them. The spies notice how secretively the people working for Gonda are doing the job, in the disguise of common people. Unabashed and unashamed, they keep working as per the strategies. And then finally they grab hold of a commoner, not able to pay the taxes for a month now. But he is confronted by Ashoka, seeing whom he gets petrified, and runs away, with Ashoka in tow after him. The onlookers are surprised. While running after him, he collides into Chakravartin. A romantic eye-lock follows. He gathers her up, and then finds the rogue running away. She stares at him overwhelmingly. He reprimands her for interfering in his work every single time, and asks why is she following him. She gets into a verbal scuffle with him as usual. It's interrupted by Devi, who is happy seeing Ashoka, and asks about Dharma and V. But before he could answer, she gets again in his way, and asks how dare he accuse her. He ignores her and turns to Devi. He asks Devi not to be formal, and she can address him and his family as usual. That shows personal relations, and they are indebted to her and her father. Chakravartin thinks, getting jealous about his double behavior in front of her and Chakravartin herself. Just then, attendants take care of Ashoka, while Devi introduces Chakravartin to him, but he chooses to ignore. She stands tensely, while Devi talks about how much she loves him, like a wife. Chakravartin says that her introduction isn't needed, so that she can know what's in his mind. Chakravartin is surprised, as people greet Ashoka and talk to him about the invitation being extended for his matrimony. To tease her, Ashoka all the more asserts about the same. He then wishes them and leaves. Ashoka aims at the bull's eye, while practicing his archery and bow, when Acharya comes and warns him indirectly about the impending danger for the enemy. Ashoka is interested and he is taken away. Acharya shows the dead body of a man hanging in the middle of the crossroads, who he recognizes as the same man who he had run after earlier in the day. Acharya tells Ashoka that this is a message, that he could have reached Gonda through him, and hence they killed him. He says that whoever tries to go after him would meet with similar fate. Ashoka is enraged, and says that before Gonda does anything else barbaric to any other witness, they should hold all Gonda workers captive without any further delay. Acharya complies. Later, the Gonda workers continue with their activities. They are stealthily and secretively held captive. Meanwhile, Chakravartin storms ahead, when Devi asks her to introduce herself as she doesn't have time to play these games. Chakravartin is adamant that she won't. As if she does. Then how would she know that he remembers her and her love or not, and whether she holds any importance for him or not? She says that love isn't forced but intuitive. Devi tries to make her understand that she needs to introduce herself. A leering person follows them, and Devi somehow manages to distract them. Chakravartin is about to retaliate in anger. As they move ahead, they are stopped and confronted by two more guys. The screen freezes on the tensed faces.